You're listening to the Baumbastic podcast with Andrew Ellis on Inside Arkansas.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Baumbastic postgame show live here from DJ's Dugout. And as you know, brought to you by Hickey and Hole Law Partners here in Arkansas, where they handle matters such as divorce, custody, criminal, civil litigation, and more. It's Hickey and Hole Law. Things are about to get better, and we're staying in Omaha for at least another day. The Hogs survive. They win 7-3 over UCLA. I was all prepared to come here and talk about this clean, business-like, workman-like, blue-collar performance. But then there were some shenanigans there in that ninth inning. Arkansas decides to give up a 3 spot, but that's okay. You live to fight another day. Arkansas had what was, for the most part, a pretty low-stress inning or game until that final inning there. The Hogs survive. They move on to face LSU. They are in the Final Four once again. Curtis, how are we feeling after the Hogs get the job done?
You know, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling really good. I'm happy to be able to extend our stay a little bit longer here. In my opinion, man, this was always going to be Arkansas and LSU on this side of the bracket. It was just a matter of how we went about getting there. I felt like this one was over in the top of the first when UCLA made a very questionable decision that I think we'll probably talk about plenty. But I got to be honest, man, everything that I planned on saying about this game went out the window when I was watching UCLA in that last half of the ninth inning there. Whatever they were doing with some string cheese, hanging off of the dugout like they're like some children. I felt like the pre-dad was coming out at me. I'm like, get stop leaning over the top of that dugout. You're gonna fall. You're gonna hurt yourself. What are you guys doing? It was the weirdest thing I have ever seen. But whatever. Arkansas got the win, and hey, we're moving on.
Again, it's hard to overstate how different the vibes probably would be on this post-game show had that ninth inning just not happened. You know what I mean? Like, because really it was, I wouldn't say like a flawless, perfect performance where nothing went wrong and Arkansas was just lights out. But again, it took care of business. You kind of knew early on UCLA had a huge spot there in the first inning, missed that opportunity. You felt a lot of comfort, even when it was a 1-0 game, a 3-0 game, or a 2-0 game, a 3-0 game, and then kind of got that fifth run. You kind of knew it was over there. The Hogs wind up getting it done. We're going to break it all down, talk about Zach Root's outing, talk about what Aiden Jimenez did on the mound after him, talk about the bats for Arkansas, because there were some positive developments there on that front, although we're all kind of waiting for that volcanic eruption. But before we get into this post-game show, I do want to remind you guys that we are brought to you by Macadoodles, fine wine, beer, and spirits. It is a local Arkansas favorite brand that just so happens to also be in Omaha, where we've been for the last week and where we will be for the next foreseeable future. This store is managed by a recent University of Arkansas alum, and the customer service is executed in exceptional style, modeling the Arkansas Macadoodles locations. They've got free popcorn, free coffee, and free samples every day. And Macadoodles Omaha is also providing free ice all College World Series to Arkansas Razorback fans. Any purchase comes with ice on the house. Macadoodles Omaha, almost said McDonald's, also has a College World Series point competition running. Busch Light 30 packs as low as $16.88 with purchase of participating products. Each purchase worth a point for a fan's collegiate team of interest in the College World Series. They have a large selection of other beers, seltzers, liquor, and wine to make it a blast. Water, snacks, cigars, among other items are also available, making Macadoodles Omaha your one-stop shop for your College World Series needs. Would also like to talk about one of our other partners, Devin Rogers with the Heritage Group Real Estate Company. He's proud to help folks all over the River Valley with buying and selling homes, whether it's your first place, your forever home, or anything in between. Devin brings local experience, honest advice, and a no-pressure approach that keeps you in control. If you're ready to talk real estate or talk Razorbacks, give him a call or a text at 479-217-2048. Go Hogs. Curtis, I want to start with Zach Root's outing. Because, again, I think we all, we covered it on Inside Arkansas Live earlier today, our little pregame show. We weren't completely stunned by this decision. They had kind of hinted that he would be available. We didn't know for sure if it'd be in the starting capacity, how long he would go. We get that announcement about 3 or 4 hours before the game that Zach Root's on the mound. Sort of told you how Arkansas's mentality was. They didn't want this game to be a game they had to piece together with a ton of arms. Felt like UCLA had him on the ropes there. I mean, his last inning that he pitched in Omaha did not go well. Right off the bat, you get a single up the middle in a 2-1 count. Wasn't hit hard at all. Didn't even leave the infield, but it winds up being an infield hit, and so you're kind of right back there like, okay, here we go. Some more bad luck for Zach Root. Chalowski, their All-American shortstop, he singles to left center, and so right away, first and second, and then you have a fly out to deep center. Both runners advance, so 1 out, runners in scoring position right off the bat. He issues a 9-pitch walk to their cleanup hitter, their cleanup hitter, And then you get a line drive right to Vahiva Aloy at shortstop. Feel like Arkansas is in position, but Root still, his pitch count starting to get up there. UCLA does him a huge, huge solid by attempting to steal home with 2 outs, bases loaded in the first inning. And again, that Zach Root pitch count was getting up there. I don't want to say they had him against the ropes, but he was still having to dig deep. Like, Arkansas fans had not exhaled yet. They got a big opportunity there with that caught stealing at home plate.
I'm just absolutely blown away by that decision making by UCLA. I really am, especially given how Root's last appearance went, where things kind of went off the rails for him without him getting hit particularly hard. I mean, he was one thing going wrong, one walk, one bad pitch, one misplay out there in the field away from potentially losing it there again. And UCLA being in a position to grab a lot of early momentum. They gift wrapped that there for Arkansas. And we can talk about whether or not that dude was actually safe or out at home. But the call stood and he was out. I just cannot believe they did that for all the reasons that you said there. Maybe he just strikes the guy out and you get out of the inning and whatever, Arkansas captures some momentum. But to do that, you're trying to steal home in the first inning against the best defensive team in college baseball. Just absolutely blows me away that they did that. You had his pitch count running up there. Maybe they could have had another 9 pitch at bat. And then even if you don't score there, you've got him at 33, 34 pitches after that first inning. Just unbelievable to me. And as soon as that happened, I tweeted out, I was like, listen, they gift wrapped that there for Arkansas. And now the Razorbacks have to go out there and make them pay. And make them pay they did 2 at bats later. And at that point, I feel like that's just completely changed your trajectory, set the tone, and you felt great about Arkansas' situation the rest of the way. And Root settled down pretty nicely from there.
Yeah, and Arkansas, it didn't take long for them to immediately make UCLA feel even worse about that decision. Charles Davalon with a really good at-bat to start the game for Arkansas, gets down 0-2, works back into the count, smacks a single through the left side against the UCLA starter, by the way, that nobody knew was going to throw today. This is a kid that started as their Friday night starter, had not pitched since March. It had not gone well for him in his outings this year. He's ruled academically ineligible and apparently got cleared right before the College World Series. Out of nowhere, we get that announcement.
What is this?
Just bizarre stuff. Arkansas didn't take too long to adjust to get some good swings off from Charles Davalon with the base hit to start it. And then Vahiva Aloy, again, gets down into an 0-2 count, battles back into the count, gets a 2-2 fastball he can do some damage with, puts Arkansas up 2-0 in the first inning. And I feel like that combined with the stolen base, failed attempt there in the first inning, really helped Root settle in, like you said. He finishes with 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, does not allow a run, walks 2, strikes out 5, winds up throwing 87 pitches 3 days after throwing 38 pitches in a start against LSU. John, was that the best you could have seen it for Root? Could you have asked for a little more, or was that about what you wanted to see from your starter 3-3?
I mean, to me, it was about getting 5 innings. Like, if you could get 5 innings out of them, I was going to be thrilled. And you did. It was a little dicey there in the end. I know you guys broke it down and saying how weird that was of UCLA and the decisions they made. But, I mean, listen, considering the decision and how a lot of people weren't necessarily over the moon confident in it, and considering the last that we saw Zach Root, things didn't exactly go well. But in that first inning, you're just like, oh, gosh, here we go again. Here's this weird stuff. And as soon as they got through that first inning, he settled in. He took care of business. I mean, again, considering how many pitches he had, considering what he did just a couple days ago against LSU, you got 5 scoreless innings out of him. He did his job. The defense did his job. I thought it was awesome, and it was great. And I know it's gonna be everyone in the chat, of course. We'll get to it. Is asking, who's it going to be tomorrow? Who's it going to be tomorrow? I'm sure we'll find out here soon. I'm sure we'll have our guesses. But yeah, pitching wise, this was a perfect situation once again.
Yeah, it absolutely was, and we can ask that question a million times, and we can talk about how fresh Arkansas's arms are, arguably fresher than LSU's, who's played 1 game less than you, which is kind of crazy to think about. But it doesn't matter. Like, to me, it feels like you just need 2 arms to get through a game at this point. That's just kind of what Arkansas has been doing for the most part there, sans Will there at the very end when the game was well under control. But yeah, what a world that we live in now. It's almost like an embarrassment of riches for Arkansas. And that doesn't mean these guys can't go out there and have bad outings or get touched up a little bit. And it doesn't mean that they're invincible. But how crazy is it that we're here in Omaha in the College World Series with Arkansas in this position they're in, and we're talking about these very talented arms that they haven't used yet, and UCLA is in an elimination game here in Omaha, and they're throwing a dude who hasn't pitched in 90 days because he didn't have the freaking grades. So that was crazy to me. I just can't get over it.
UCLA to me was just a team. Well, I mean, it's not surprising, but they were just happy to be here. They couldn't believe they were here. Like, it was
They really
weird,
showed at the end.
Yeah,
huh?
it was almost like once they lost their first game, they're like, listen, we know we're not going to beat Arkansas or LSU. And so instead of just trying, we're just going to have fun with it. We're going to have our string cheese. We're going to, sit over there and do some funny things with our feet in the dugout. And let's just throw out this guy. Wouldn't it be hilarious if we just threw out this guy who hadn't pitched all year and was academically ineligible? So I was like, what a goof that would be. It was very strange. But, hey, I mean, listen, they're going home. Arkansas moves on, and that's their prerogative. Have at it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was bizarre vibes from UCLA. Arkansas also, I would say, got a few bats going. Put together a solid performance offensively. They finished with 10 hits for the second straight game. They were able to turn this one into 7 runs. We're going to talk about that scoring breakdown, some of the guys that stood out, but want to talk to you guys a little bit more about our buddies over at Hickey and Hole Law. Before that, divorce and custody cases are too important to try and face alone. Let Hickey and Hole Law provide you with persistent and diligent representation to help guide you through the entire process. They have handled thousands of family law cases and have experienced nearly every scenario that may come up. They push the case forward for their clients, advocating for them in a diligent and consistent manner from start to finish. Hickey and Hole Law have offices across the state of Arkansas, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Little Rock, and Mena. You can call them today at 479-434-2414, or you can check them out at their website. Visit hickeyandhole.com or scan the QR code in the top right corner of your screen. We are also brought to you today by Looper Auction and Realty. Why wait months or even years to sell your home the traditional way? At Looper Auction and Realty, they offer a faster, smarter option. Sell your home at auction. No repairs, no contingencies, no drawn-out negotiations. You set the terms, buyers compete, and you walk away with a firm closing date. Whether it's your home, an estate, an investment property, the auction method puts you in control and gets it sold fast. Call Looper Auction and Realty, 479-996-4848, or visit looperauction.com. Looper Auction and Realty, sold in 30, closed in 30. So the scoring breakdown, we mentioned the Vahiva Aloy home run, which, I mean, just a beautiful swing, backside, 2-strike. A lot of Arkansas's biggest hits in this game went the opposite way, which is really impressive. Arkansas gets their 3rd run of the game, once again provided by Vahiva Aloy. Thought that might just be all they needed. Would have wound up being enough to keep them in the game. In the 5th inning, smacks a triple off the wall against a left-handed breaking ball. Gives the Arkansas some insurance, which felt really big in the moment. It was a 3-0 game in the 5th inning. Root had just finished up his outing. Arkansas was going to Aiden Jimenez. Really felt even better about bringing him in after that third run there. In the 7th inning, Arkansas gets some insurance. Brent Iredale works a leadoff walk, who, by the way, Brent Iredale reached base 4 times today. Also made 2 errors, but he did reach base 4 times. The second error was a really, really bad one. The first one wound up really not hurting him because Arkansas was able to tag the guy out. He issues a leadoff walk. Justin Thomas Jr., who had another really impressive performance, added 2 hits in this game. He sacrificed bunts Brent Iredale over. Arkansas playing some of that small ball that everybody likes. Winds up getting to third base after a ground out from Charles Davalon, who outside of the leadoff single did not have a great day at the plate necessarily. UCLA decides to put Vahiva Aloy on base with a left-handed pitcher on the mound to bring up Logan Maxwell, who makes them pay with a massive 2-run double in the gap in left field. Once again, gets a left-on-left breaking ball in a 2-strike count, goes the other way with it. When we talk about good approach, when we talk about clutch hitting with runners in scoring position, those are things you love to see in any moment, but in the postseason, you need them. Good to see Arkansas's number 3 hitter there come up with a big one. 8th inning, Arkansas adds a few more, or I guess 2 more runs. Kojal works a leadoff walk, only time he was on base today, moves up on a wild pitch, gets to third on a ground out, and scores on a wild pitch for the second week in a row. Just a bang-bang play at the plate. And then Justin Thomas Jr. picks up his 2nd hit of the day, drives in Brent Iredale, who reached with another walk with a double drop down the left field line. Again, it wasn't like this explosion where Arkansas rattled off a bunch of huge innings. I thought they hit the ball hard pretty consistently in this game. They even had a couple line drives here and there. Not going to be the performance that necessarily riles this fan base up to the point where they're convinced they're going to beat LSU twice. But I thought it was a step in the right direction for Arkansas offensively.
Yeah, I thought that it was a fascinating thing to see. Once again, the bats get going in certain ways, but you still wish you would have had more runs to go along with it. I mean, you had 2 swings that essentially scored 4 runs for you, which is awesome. I mean, you're never going to complain about scoring runs, but there was just times, once again, where you left guys stranded and you shouldn't have. There was times you hit the double plays again, which I remember telling you, Andrew, I feel like Arkansas has doubled their hitting into double plays in the College World Series that they had all year long, because it just didn't feel like it was that many times it happened. But listen, you got to find random ways to do it. And even Logan Maxwell, how about him getting a double? I think we said it was like his 5th double of the year. As many hits as he's had, he just doesn't hit a whole lot of them. So he came up clutch. He came up big. So you can't really be too upset by it, but it's almost like Arkansas with their offense, first game against LSU, not good at all. Second game against Murray State, a little bit better. And then this game, a little bit better, but it's still not where you really want it to be. So maybe the trajectory is when they play LSU tomorrow, it'll be even better. But, slowly but surely getting there. You're still getting wins. That's what matters. But still want to see just a little bit more out of the offense, especially in those crucial situations.
Yeah, I absolutely do. Like, I'm not going to lie. I was pissed off for a decent chunk of that game. Like, they should have been able to chase that dude who hadn't thrown in 90 days out of there a lot earlier than they did. But whatever. Like, at this point, it doesn't matter. Like you said, how you get it done. It's just about getting it done. And we can, continue to have that conversation. We started to yesterday a little bit about, hey, Arkansas is still alive. They're still playing baseball. They live to play another day, and they still haven't played their best game. They still haven't played the complete game. And you're right. Yeah, it was a step in the right direction today. There's more in the tank for this offense for sure. And you hope that you find that and some combination of that and your pitching continuing to carry you the way it has. It's just been absolutely phenomenal against an LSU team that's had your number a little bit this year. Now you got to beat them twice in a row.
Yeah, I think it was definitely, again, it's not like we would love to have that game where Arkansas just explodes and everything goes according to plan and you just look awesome. You really lean on someone, blow someone out. Not necessarily required. I think the fact that Arkansas was able to treat this game like a blowout, essentially, from a pitching standpoint. I want to talk about Aiden Jimenez's outing here in a second, but first, I want to talk to you guys about Trevero Clothing. Why spend so much money renting tuxes and suits when you can own the highest quality ones at an affordable price? That's what Trevero Clothing can provide for you, whether it's weddings, formals, black tie events. Have Trevero Clothing get you looking your best this summer. Check out their entire line on Instagram or check them out at any dealers near you. It is Trevero Clothing, where they dress the best version of you. Aiden Jimenez, so Arkansas goes to him again in a 3-0 game, and it's kind of funny how baseball works that way, where you make the same decisions over and over again throughout the year. Sometimes those decisions work, sometimes they don't. We talked about it on the show earlier today because someone asked about bad decisions, and we were like, I guess you could point to when they were up 4-2 in Baton Rouge against LSU, and they bring in Aiden Jimenez. This Aiden Jimenez that Arkansas got looked a lot like the Aiden Jimenez who was shutting down Vanderbilt, was shutting down Ole Miss, was having big-time closing outings in SEC play, looked like a potential weekend starter for Arkansas. His final line, 3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, got a huge double play ball in his 3rd inning of work there in the 8th inning to avoid disaster. Only strikes out 2, but really filled up the strike zone, set the tone out of the bullpen for Arkansas. I really enjoyed his outing. I thought it was a big deal for him to bring some stability to this Arkansas bullpen, kind of make it clear, hey, Dave, you still don't need to worry too much. I got this.
How many pitches did he throw?
41 is what his pitch count ended up being. So would all the more than likely be available tomorrow if they needed, but really he would definitely be available on Thursday.
Yeah, no, I love that. And so for those folks that I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit that were irritated about, Will McIntyre coming in and like whatever happened there in the 9th inning, hey, that's one less inning and however many pitches less that Jimenez wound up throwing there, and that makes him all the more available for this, critical 2-game stretch here against LSU. Yeah, man, I thought he was awesome. It was good to see. It's just been crazy how this is all shaken out with your starters going deep. And then, I mean, obviously Root didn't go deep in the first game, but Gackle kind of operated as a starter out of there, and you just haven't had to use the amount of arms that you typically would in this type of scenario that all these other teams who are out here have been doing. And so when you haven't seen a guy for a little while, you kind of wonder, all right, what's this going to look like? And it looked great from him. So that makes you really confident going into these next couple games here. And man, I was really proud of what we saw from him.
Yeah, I was too. I mean, listen, you know that this is all about pitching, and everybody talks about College World Series. If you're going to win it, it's going to come down to pitching. It's going to come down to pitching. And this is now like I said, how many games they play. This is now the 3rd straight game after the game where I'm like, man, great shape for pitching. Like you're just feeling that way. And I think that having Aiden come in and do what he did, which I guess the last time we saw him was when he got a little bit banged up, in that Tennessee and super regional. People were wondering, what's this mean? How bad is he? And Dave said he was cramping. I remember some people were like, oh, no, he's not on Dave's line to us. We know what cramping looks like, and that ain't it. Well, I think he proved himself here tonight that he can still go. He's still got plenty in the tank, and Arkansas still got plenty of pitching left to face LSU, hopefully twice here in the next 2 days.
Are we basically a part of the Jimenez family?
I
think so. I think we're we're distant cousins now.
I had him sign the adoption papers. I don't know.
Yeah. We had a great time. Maybe that's what we have to run it back. and hang
Run
out
it
with the
back.
Jimenez family before tomorrow's game. Well, guys, we want to get to the chat because I'm sure it's buzzing. I'm sure they are just thrilled and happy. Don't have anything to complain about after a game like this. But before we get into this chat, I want to talk about one of our other sponsors, Radiant Elements Medical Spa. There's no doubt that tough workouts deserve a tough recovery. When you throw a complete game no-hitter, shutout like Gage Wood did yesterday, you need that tough recovery. The Hogs look like they were out of gas there in the ninth inning. They could probably use it. But at Radiant Elements Medical Spa, their deep tissue, sports massage, and infrared sauna help you bounce back faster, hit the weights harder, and stay in the game. Some of you may feel self-care makes you soft. It does not. It's what winners do. And for you guys that are wondering what to give your special someone for that special occasion, Radiant Elements Medical Spa has all different types of services to make it the best gift ever. Check them out in Fayetteville over at the Weddington Plaza right next to the Lions Mane, or book an appointment online with the QR code at the top right corner to get 15% off your first service. It's Radiant Elements Medical Spa, self-care for everyone. So let's hop into this chat. Let's see, they're buzzing. We're going to start with a super chat from Big Salty Hog, one of our favorites here on the program.
Great name.
He says, let's go, boys. Gage, MF Wood has our bullpen ready to win the next two. Andrew, what's worse, that throw to first or YouTube autocorrect?
Probably the throw to first, bro.
What was the YouTube autocorrect?
I don't know what happened with. I have no idea what happened with the YouTube.
What's the title? Did we mess up the
that's
title?
what I was looking at. The title looks fine to me, but of course I'm also an idiot, so it could be completely wrong. But it looks good to me at least.
Oh, that's high. It made me stress for a second, man. Anytime the chat starts messing up, but we appreciate you, Big Salty Hog. You're one of our favorites for real.
That throw to first was wild because
I
was wondering, like, did it slip off of his pinky? Like, what happened there? Did he throw it from his palm? And no, it just kind of.
It's always disheartening when you're making the throw to see the first baseman just put his glove down and look, and like that's always
like turned and ran.
What in the world?
Reese is a big boy, and he didn't even like flinch, try and make an attempt on that one, and he really, I mean, he was well within his rights.
Yeah.
We also appreciate T Razorback. Said watching Mac try and close that gave me cancer. Okay, let's just
That's
relax
ridiculous.
a little bit. Come on, guys. Also, like, can we? Matter of fact, I'm going to do the Will McIntyre conversation now.
We need to.
Obviously, one outing didn't go well. He looked a little rusty after not pitching for a month, and so that's disappointing. Arkansas kicking the ball around, of course, didn't help him. I mean, he had two balls, including his own defense, which was not very good, but had two balls that probably should have been outs, not hit very hard at all. If either one of those plays are made, it looks like a very different inning. Had a lot of balls in the dirt. Ryder was running out of gas right there. Ryder Helfrich did not have a great day at the office, by the way, hitting or behind the plate there in the ninth inning. He looked like he was not having fun. But again, it was a 7-0 game. Will hasn't pitched in a month. You know, I know a lot of people were like, why don't you just roll with Jimenez? That's what I thought they were going to do. Certainly wouldn't have been upset by that. And in hindsight, yeah, sure, totally should have just rolled with that. I imagine with it being a 7-0 game, they felt like they had enough insurance, wanted to get Willie McIntyre in there, and probably thought, hey, Jimenez at 41, things went great. We can bring him back tomorrow or Thursday, which they probably still would have been able to do. I'm just going to be honest. I wasn't that offended by them going to Will McIntyre in the moment. I was a little bit surprised just because I thought they would finish with Jimenez, but I wasn't like, I didn't think it was a baffling decision, and I don't think it drastically affected anything.
No. I mean, I get it. Like, people want to close out strong, and you want to get it done. And Arkansas still won the game, so that's what's most important. But it wasn't like, oh, Will McIntyre came in and then everything was completely and totally on him, his fault, all of that. Like, I don't know what Brent Iredale was doing on that one play where he just I'm not, again, before you get up a hit, but then he goes through the glove and then he just doesn't go and get the ball. You know, he's just kind of like, well, maybe it's foul. That's what it looked like to me. So, I mean, there was just some weird, goofy things that happened. But, you know, everyone's just like, every time Will McIntyre comes in, bad things happen. The last time we saw him, the dude absolutely shoved Tennessee into a locker. And it's just, I understand you get frustrated. I understand if you like certain players more than others. But you got to live in the reality, folks. You got to live in the reality and stop thinking that because you saw one time or two times in the entire span of years where a guy didn't do so well, that you're just like, this is how it is all the time. And it's just not the case. You got the win. I was happy that McIntyre got, and Andrew, I don't know if you made this point already, but you said, and I think it was a great point. You can maybe look at this in a way of Dave being like, hey, now I got something to get after him about instead of getting too comfortable and saying, hey, that ain't flying, that sloppiness. You guys got to lock in. So maybe that's a silver lining on the other side of it.
Yeah, it's 7-0, and you're just trying to get through the last 3 outs of the game. UCLA is being incredibly weird. I don't know what they were doing with the string cheese. It made me uncomfortable. It probably made them uncomfortable. It's distracting out there. But, like, you know, in all seriousness, just a little bit of a loss of focus there. It wasn't all necessarily like Will McIntyre's pitch execution out there. Arkansas was kicking the ball all over the field out there, and it was just a rough half inning for him. But it's not a big picture reflection on Will or anything like that. It was just a sloppy close to a game that you otherwise completely dominated from start to finish.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yeah, like, I mean, I get it if you want to be upset about the performance. Like, yeah, definitely was not very sharp. If you want to, be mad at Will McIntyre for existing, you're well within your rights, I guess. But again, I just don't think like the premise. A lot of times we try to do this thing where like, what the hell, DVH? What's going on? I just don't think that really had much going on. Like, I just don't think that decision, especially in a 7-0 game, was really that high leverage of a situation. If it's not a high leverage situation, it's hard for me to get upset about the decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where it's
for sure.
Like if Colin Fisher comes in tomorrow in a 12-1 game and he gives up 3 runs, we're not gonna be like, oh, why'd you pitch Big Tuna, man? What the hell? It's like,
I guess we can't trust him against Coastal Carolina.
Right.
Well, and also too, it's like what pitcher would have gone in there and everyone would have been like, this is a great decision and I'm totally fine with this. Like
Carter.
You just throw in somebody in there, you throw Kahio Aloy in there to pitch. Like, I don't know what people would just be fine with, but yeah, again, you got the win. It wasn't great looking, but to just be like McIntyre, trash, I don't know why we play him stuff. I think it's unfair. It really is unfair.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting, by the way, this chat's going to be, I would imagine there's going to be a lot of tonight, but there's going to be a lot of LSU. We're going to do a show tomorrow that will really dive into it, but I do have some stuff prepared. We will talk about that because it's important. And right away, we get a question from Keno Appreciator, who's been great here in the chat lately. He says, Gackle tomorrow? Listen, if you ask Gabe Gackle, he says yes. If you ask me, I would probably aim to, listen, I know you can't play till, you have to play the game in front of you. I would probably want to buy him that extra day of rest so that I could start him Thursday and then maybe let him roll for 75, 80 pitches.
I think if they went with Gackle to start this thing tomorrow on 3 days rest or whatever, that would tell you a lot about how confident they are in Shees or in some of these other guys, man. That's the direction I expect them to go. But who knows? I expect them to go that direction today, and then it was Zach Root. So
yeah, and I also I could tell you, because if you want to know who do you think they start tomorrow, I'll say Landon Shees. But if you would have asked me yesterday, I would have also said Landon Shees.
Exactly.
I almost made him my preemptive heavy hitter. I definitely won't be stunned if they go Gabe Gackle. I wasn't that stunned when they went Zach Root today. Perhaps a little bit different situation. And plus, I remember last week when I suggested they should start Gabe Gackle in Game 3 against Tennessee, and I got absolutely eviscerated on Twitter. Every single reply was like, what the hell, man? That's just how it was. It was crazy. Jacob Clemens says, I knew Matt could do it, expected 2 to 3 runs, but knew he could do it.
This just made me laugh.
That's actually like
a 7-0 lead,
Rye Guy Seattle says, does anyone actually think we're going to beat LSU twice? Not likely.
I think they can. I think they will.
I think they very much can. Will they? Who knows? But I don't think there should be any question about whether or not Arkansas can win 2 baseball games against LSU. I know that they have not beaten them twice this year, but it's like I don't think there's a ton of separation between these 2 ball clubs, really, regardless of who's on the mound, but especially so whenever you don't have Cade Anderson and Anthony Einson on fresh full week's rest. Of course, you're still going to have to face both of those guys more than likely. But I don't think this is one of those situations like LSU is this mountain that Arkansas can't climb. It's going to be a tough one, and it's tough to do it with no margin for error. But I don't think there's like this big gap between these 2 teams. And in fact, I feel like, we've said it all along. I think Arkansas probably has the better overall roster if you look at it.
Yeah, 1/2 inning decided that game the other day. I really feel like if this goes to Thursday, Arkansas is winning. I feel like if LSU is going to get them out of there, it's going to happen tomorrow. Well, that's kind of where I'm at.
And that was point I was going to bring up too, Curtis. I'm like, can Arkansas beat LSU once? For sure they can.
Absolutely.
And if they do, I just think they're going to win twice.
You got to get that monkey off your back. And it's like,
because LSU fans, they're flying high, as they should. They haven't lost in the College World Series. They've looked pretty dominant. But the second that they lose that game to Arkansas tomorrow, assuming that they do, and they're like, oh, no. We know, because they know that Arkansas is the other favorite, the other heavy favorite for this. And suddenly, it's a whole new thing where, we beat you before. Oh, we're undefeated. Now you're putting us in a position like, oh, crap, we got to beat this team again? After 3 times we got to play them, and then we're going to beat them again? All the pressure is going to be on them.
When both of you are in an elimination game, that just changes everything, in my opinion. It's been interesting to see how this worked out because, hey, LSU landed the first blow here. It's like I said at the top of the show, man, it just felt like from the time the entire bracket was released from the time the regionals were decided and we saw the Supers, and from the time we got this College World Series thing figured out here, it always felt like Arkansas and LSU. It just felt like that's where this was headed. And now here we are. They won the first battle. They haven't won the war yet. But that advantage they get from winning game one, they still got the game in hand, but the rest of it's kind of been negated. Like they lost that extra day of rest by the rain doing what it did. And Arkansas's pitching situation is in a good spot. Yes, you have to beat them twice in a row. They only have to beat you once. But going into this, you feel really, really good about where you stand. And I feel like if they get this first one, I'll tell you right now, if they get this first one, I'm going to go into Thursday guaranteeing a victory.
No, let me ask you this: have you guys seen the Rocky movies?
Absolutely.
Who won the first Rocky movie? Who won?
Rocky did not catch the dub in that one.
He did not, but you know what happened? He never lost again in all the movies. So there it is.
You know
it's
what
all set
Apollo
up.
Creed was asking his coach in the second movie? He said, "But did I beat him?
Yeah,
I know I won the match.
Yeah,
I know the judges gave me the
him.
fight, but did I beat him?
Yep.
You know."
And then he's telling him, he's like, "I saw this man kept coming for you. Let it go. Let it go." That's how LSU is going to be, man. They don't want that smoke because, again, lose that one game, it's going to change the entire dynamic.
So we watched the final inning here at DJ's on the big screen. Do y'all agree with this assessment that DVH looked real nervous at the end?
He looked a little pissed.
I thought he was extremely pissed.
Yeah, not nervous.
Me and Curtis were actually joking that you can almost see the neck veins where he's
oh yeah,
just really obviously. I mean, look at we were pissed.
Man.
You can imagine the head coach who has coached Arkansas to be one of the best defensive programs in the country. I mean, maybe the best. By the way, both of these clubs top 10 nationally in fielding percentage. It's kind of interesting to see some sloppiness there. But yeah, I think he was definitely pissed. But like you mentioned earlier, I think that he's probably secretly happy that he gets to take his guys down a peg, because that's what you always look for as a coach, an opportunity to tell your team that they suck.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Finch says, so who do we go with tomorrow? Don't even want to talk about that poop show of a game tonight.
Poop show.
Let's say, Finch, it was a poop
game.
It was a poop show of an inning. Let's be honest about that. It wasn't a bad game all around. In fact, I mean, after 8 innings, I honestly was like, man, that was just a well-rounded, solid, thorough, clean performance. I know it's hard to say outside of the inning where they made 2 errors and gave up three runs. They were great, but outside of the inning where they made 2 errors and gave up 3 runs, they were great.
Yeah.
Kip C says, I still believe that this team can go for 2 for 2, but I don't like that they'll likely have to beat Ianson to do it. So let's talk about this. So Anthony Ianson, who is LSU's, they're number 2, but if you look at the numbers, has the best ERA among their starters. Hell, we thought it was actually, as crazy as this sounds, let's tell you how stupid we are. We thought it was kind of bold of them, not bold, but we thought that might be the wrong decision to pitch Cade Anderson in game 1 against Arkansas because of how good Anthony Ianson is and because of how good he was against Arkansas earlier this year, throwing 6 scoreless innings, striking out 11. So he throws 44 pitches last night before their game against UCLA, wound up getting delayed and resumed here today. So on Monday night at about 7:30, 44 pitches. He would almost certainly be available tomorrow, whether that they want to close him. They have brought him out of the bullpen to close out their regional against Little Rock, so it wouldn't be unprecedented. I think he probably could start if they needed him to. They might make that decision, but I think at the very least, you're looking at Arkansas is going to have to face Ianson and Cade Anderson on Thursday at the latest.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this a lot. LSU does not trust a lot of people in their bullpen. It's really about 5 arms total, and that includes the 2 starters that they really like, and a lot of those arms have thrown a lot. Would not be stunned to see Anthony Ianson start for LSU tomorrow.
I also think that with that sentiment that people have of oh, I wish it wasn't this way, or I wish. What did you expect, man? You knew you were going, even going into the College World Series. It's did you think that, it may be in a great spot and in the greatest reality that, Arkansas beats LSU game 1 and then UCLA or whoever beats them game 2 and eliminates them.
Right.
But that wasn't realistic.
Exactly.
You knew you were going to have to face these guys at some point in time. So this idea of just I really don't like to do it. I mean, no one likes to do it. I'm sure that LSU is I hope we don't have to face Gage Wood. Everyone's going to have those things. But hey, if you want to be the best, if you want to win a title, this is the stuff you're going to have to do. You're going to have to beat good teams with good pitching. It's just plain and simple. You got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you were going to have to beat LSU twice to get to the final. Now you just have to beat them 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
That's it.
Yeah, I see a lot of people thinking that Cade Anderson is not going to pitch for LSU.
I'm
not guaranteeing that, but I would be stunned if he did not pitch. If there's a game Thursday, I would be stunned if he didn't pitch at the very least out of the bullpen. Now, again, I know 4 days rest would be 4 days rest 5 days after he threw 100 pitches on Saturday. If you look at how LSU has used Cade Anderson this year, not much worry about his arm and his stamina.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, they use him a lot. And again, like we've said 1,000 times, when you're in these situations, elimination games, which Thursday would be an elimination game for both teams, you throw all logic and reason out the window for sure.
Absolutely. And if we're all sitting here doing the thing where we're like, oh, Gabe Gackle Thursday for sure, and then trying to poo-poo on the Cade Anderson idea when he threw 10 more pitches on the same day. No, they're both going to absolutely be available for that.
I think when you think about what Arkansas is about to try and accomplish here, beating LSU twice, 18 innings, at least, I think that the fact is that you're going to have to face Ianson and Anderson, I would say, for maybe half of those innings. Like, it's very possible. I mean, Ianson, who knows? I mean, if they start him tomorrow, probably wouldn't be allowed to go a full, 95, 100 pitches. But, I mean, Root, 2 or 3 days or whatever, 2 days rest. I know he only threw 38 pitches. He threw 87
like a full
today.
start almost.
It's pretty much a full start. I know it's not quite the same situation, but again, it's elimination game. It's College World Series. You do what you got to do. And again, LSU does not want to use guys that they have not felt comfortable using. That's why they've used Chase Shores twice. That's why they used Case and Evans twice. And those guys probably wouldn't be available tomorrow. And Shores probably would be. But I mean, listen, LSU's going to do what they got to do to win. It is what it is. Seth Herman here says Iredale's starting to heat up at the plate. This is true information. He's starting to swing the bat well. Weirdly enough, I mean, he's been so good defensively. Just a rare, bizarre, bad defensive game from him, but starting to look a lot more like that threat that we know he can be at the plate. Maybe going down to that 8 spot helped him a little bit.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You move him down to the 8 hole from the 7. You take a little bit of pressure off of him, then look at him now.
Yeah, how about that, man? Hero Blake says, I wish Wood was available. Yeah, I mean,
it would be nice.
Certainly would be nice. Again, I remain pretty adamant on that. As much as we said, hey, these coaches are going to do what they got to do. I can't imagine Gage Wood throws before Saturday, and I really think it would probably end up being Sunday in all likelihood.
We see him again in a Razorback uniform. We see him again.
I will say, man, if you're going to, I think I agree with that statement, John. The only way I could see them using Gage Wood would be if both games, Wednesday and Thursday, are back and forth crazy shenanigans, and it's 5-4 in the 9th or 10th inning, and it's Arkansas's used everyone, and they're like, you know what, F it, dude. Gage Wood, go out there and because he would be planting the seeds early, I imagine, but I don't think you're going to get Gage Wood come back and give you 4 innings.
What is his walkout song?
His walkout song. Let's see. This year it is Rooster, Alice in Chains.
Yeah. Imagine hearing that when the game's on the line and you got a 1-run lead against LSU on Thursday, an elimination game, and you see that dude coming out. Again, you don't want that smoke.
The way that dude cock walks off the mound, and the way that he was out of the hotel to the bus today, could you just imagine him coming out of the pen like that?
Dude.
Gosh.
I mean, it just be. I mean, again, he might as well just be gliding over to the mound, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Hey, can we give Iredale's success? Can we credit that to sandwiching in between the two best hitters in the lineup?
Yeah, Big Country and Justin Thomas, man. Those are the two guys. Yeah, you don't want to have to pitch to Justin Thomas, so you might as well pitch to Brent Iredale. And I mean, seriously, Justin Thomas, 6 hits in 2 days in the College World Series, both elimination games. Let it hang, brother. Everyone has their suggestion of who should be starting these games. Luke says, why not start McGuire? I believe he's referring to Tate McGuire, who is not on the roster for Arkansas in the regional or super. Perhaps he's on the roster for the World Series. I'm not sure. Luke, I want to hear the case. I'm open to it. I can I'm open-minded. I want to hear the case for why Arkansas would start Tate McGuire in an elimination game. That is a fascinating decision.
Whatever, man. Okay.
I'll tell you what it is. It's like what UCLA did today.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
And it could have gone a lot worse for him.
It could have, yeah. I mean, he had a pretty electric fastball there. Ozarkian says, isn't Gackle clear to pitch tomorrow? Yeah, listen, Gackle is almost certainly available tomorrow, but available doesn't mean he's going to pitch. And I mean, again, really in this situation, everyone's available. I think the idea, you would probably want to start, to save him for when you could really get a long, lengthy outing out of him. I mean, he threw 90 pitches on Saturday. I'm sure physically, mentally, he's ready to roll, but I would be waiting as long as I could to use him so that when I put him in, it's I can let him cook for a while. Max Allen says, glad you guys won. Now LSU can send you home.
Max.
Yeah,
Max. That is mean.
Hold on. We don't need to read this guy's comments anymore. He had to be banned.
He did get banned. Was he the one that was talking crazy to Kingsley?
Yeah, he got banned.
Yeah, Max,
saying some things.
Out of here. Don't talk about
Later,
Kingsley.
Max.
That's our guy, man. And don't talk about us either. Don't talk about the pig.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
Just
fight us
string
tomorrow.
cheese, man.
Meet us in the mud.
We'll
Chase
meet you
Riley-
by the Mardi Gras mic or whatever the heck that
Yeah.
Tiger's
Oh, yeah. We're gonna
Yeah,
be peeing
such
on
a
that
cool
sucker.
thing. Yeah, half of its top's missing. Cool.
I joked about being, related to the Jimenez family. Chase Riley says, "Can we talk about Ellis and Aiden J being doppelgangers?" I do not see this at all.
Y'all
Do y'all
twinned
see
up?
this? I don't see it.
I don't see it.
There's a lot of people I get compared to, but I have not heard Aiden Jimenez right.
Well, I mean, you did become family, so
Yeah.
maybe the family resemblance is starting to show.
You went from Mason Molina to Aiden Jimenez. Are
Yeah.
you? Anyway,
Maybe I'm just
Ellis is just baseball.
I'm just a relief pitcher. Bro.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I'm just a middle reliever, man. Speaking of middle relievers, Smoking Temp says Christian Fouch, Parker Coyle, Dylan Carter for tomorrow. I'm guessing. I would probably also throw Cole Gibbler into that mix. Of course, he threw on Saturday.
Mhm.
Although earlier we had to debate whether or not Cole Gibbler should even wear a Razorback uniform. Those would definitely be some of the names that would be available there. We'll see. And then, of course, Landon Beidelshe's on the mound to start. At least that's what we're guessing. I kind of sneaky have a good feeling about Landon Beidelshe's. Like, he's going to give Arkansas 4 or 5 innings tomorrow. If Landon Beidelshe's can give you 3 or 4 as a starter, those 3 names that Smoke and Temp just mentioned could probably eat up close to, if not all of the game, especially if you have Cole Gibbler to that mix. And then you have the whole house available except for maybe Gage Wood on Thursday. Crazy Cajun Dave says, we take professional at-bats. No breaks in the LSU lineup. Well, that's great, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
he had a whopping 6 hits in the game a few days ago. But
yeah, we got to stop reading idiots from LSU.
It's great. I mean, it's a very, very good
up.
lineup. I'll give him credit for that. It's a very good lineup.
Fair enough.
So is Arkansas.
It's average.
Ty Langston says, great shape for pitching is a stretch. We are down our top 3 arms. Well, they're down Gage Wood for sure. Like, I would say he's for sure not going to throw these next 2 days.
Root's not throwing.
Root is probably not throwing. I can't imagine. I mean, threw 87 today. Gackle, I mean, we're talking about whether or not he's going to start today or tomorrow or Thursday. I think you're probably going to hear from Gabe Gackle again, but I think really it's just when you've had to play that extra game, you compare Arkansas' situation to LSU, which, by the way, let's talk about LSU situation here. So they've thrown Cade Anderson 100 pitches. I don't imagine he's going to be available tomorrow. Anthony Einstein, 44. We'll see. Chase Shores, who's been kind of their hybrid closer, he threw in both of their games Saturday and today, but only threw 10 pitches Saturday and 11 on Tuesday. Kason Evans, their freshman who's been closer, now become a starter, he threw 13 on Saturday and 68 on Tuesday, so he's out of the mix. So if you have Evans and Anderson, that's 2 of their top 3 arms. They're unavailable as well. Freshman lefty Cooper Williams threw 21 pitches today. So if you kind of add Einstein into that, it's like LSU's kind of in a just as bad situation, and they have less options than Arkansas because they don't really trust a lot of their guys. The starter Arkansas is most likely seeing tomorrow is Zach Cowan, who threw really well against them before, but is kind of, I would say, like their Landon Beidelshe's type of guy, like hasn't been lights out necessarily. A couple other freshmen that might throw, but I think when you compare it, relatively speaking, given the circumstances, it's hard to imagine Arkansas being in a better situation given that they've had to play 3 games here.
Yeah. Do you feel like Mother Nature might be having an affair with the baseball gods? Because this has really worked out nicely for Arkansas here.
It was
and
perfect.
that is another factor here as well.
This is literally best case in terms of how the last 24 hours have worked out.
Not too bad.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Brian Davis, we appreciate the super chat. He says, 1 game closer until Andrew shaves his head. Barbershop, or will John do it himself live at DJ's?
Oh, I'm doing it myself.
We're going to do it ourselves, but I don't know if we're going to do it at DJ's.
Oh, you kidding me? Sonny would love that. Are you serious? We're going to do it.
Okay, but we're going to have to bring a,
That's fine. I mean, listen, I'm going to bring whatever
it takes. Logistically, it would make sense to not do it here, but
we gotta have DJs. We got to be careful about having Andrew's luscious locks in our cheese curds.
Yeah, no, that could be a little bit tough.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, we're gonna keep the hair too, right? We got to give it somewhere. Give it to Locks of Love, whatever it is.
Yeah. Maybe we do it like outside on their patio or something like that. We figure it out.
That's a great idea.
Gotcha. Andrew Smith, we appreciate the super chat. He says, "Love the show, guys. Thank God basketball guys showed up in time to change the mojo. 54 outs away from bop." Up cutting them locks.
Please tell me you understand that reference, Andrew.
Is that like the what's the song I'm thinking of?
Mbop.
Is that the name of it? Okay, I knew
by Hanson. Yeah,
gotcha.
What's that song called that has Mbop in it? Yeah.
James Robley, we appreciate you for the super chat. I hope we did not miss your comment after that. If you did have another one, but we appreciate it absolutely. The Peaks wants to know, what's the plans for the Inside Arkansas crew pregame tomorrow in Omaha? We're going to be right here.
DJ's Dugout.
We'll be doing Inside Arkansas Live from about 12 to 1:45, 2-ish maybe, maybe
just depending on how the vibes are, and then,
absolutely.
Yeah, and then we'll be out and about and checking things out and seeing what happens before the game, but we'll be back here post-game for the Baumbastic post-game show, so either way, we'll be around. Oot and a boot, checking things out. Yep.
Absolutely.
So I was looking at hockey over there.
Appreciate that, Chuck Davalon. Crazy Cajun Dave is back at it. This is the LSU fan. He says all the pressure is on Arkansas, in my opinion. They got to avenge the 2009 College World Series
that
team.
puts a lot of pressure on them, guy.
I firmly agree with the first statement. The second statement, you lost me a little bit. Me and John, of course, like we were crying over that Arkansas game in 2009, but I don't know if that's necessarily at the top of the list. I would say Arkansas could just, they're 0-4 against LSU all time in the College World Series. I would say I would just settle for like them getting that monkey off their back a little bit, but I don't think Dave is mentioning the 2009 College World Series.
Most of the current Razorbacks were going through potty training when that was a thing. So
no, I just don't understand. Like LSU fans have some of the stupidest things and takes and like opinions on like sports in general, even like stuff that's not that like something that I would even get mad about, but that's some like 2009 College World Series. Like, I mean, really?
I can't wait for Gabe Gackle to give a speech after he wins most outstanding player, and he's like, guys, we were down in the dumps, we were pretty shaken, but then Dave showed us a clip of Drew Smiley giving up a nuke to Chad Jones.
This one was for you, Zach Cox. This one's for you, Brett Eibner. Like, it just come on, man.
Dallas Keuchel, your efforts were not for naught, man.
Yeah. Ben Chepakov, like, come on.
Shout out to Dylan Snow, who pretty much did predict. He said he predicted Vahiva Aloy 105 off the barrel, 408 to left center. I think it was like 387 or something like that was his home run. It was 109 off the bat. So you sold him short on the exit velocity. I think the ball that he hit, the triple he hit off the wall in right center field, which was his second triple of the year, I thought he hit that one maybe even harder and farther because it was like probably 390, 395. He smoked that one. Austin Taylor says Gage Wood's no-hitter was Kurt Schilling's bloody sock. We are destined for this. Our time to break the curse. Yeah. I love that, man. I love that.
Same thing. I mean, I can't argue that logic.
Something was bleeding. What did they say? He had a blister on one of his other thumb or something?
Are you talking about Schilling or Gage Wood? I didn't hear about the blister. He had a blister?
I heard somebody say something about a blister.
Dude, is there anything better than an Omaha blister? Speaking of Drew Smiley, I mean, there's nothing better than you get to this time of year and then whatever guy's on the mound, the commentators are like, he's actually got a blister on his right finger. It's like, well, I'm sure all these guys who are just throwing a baseball every single day, I'm sure there's a little something going on.
Yeah, you're 100% right. There is truly nothing better in life than a blister in Omaha.
If your hands don't look like this, you're a sissy boy.
Yeah.
That's what Gage Wood saying after his no-hitter.
Yep.
I love this comment from Smoking Tempt. He says, I told you Gabe Gackle is not pitching.
Man, you nailed it. You cracked the case.
Were we advocating for Gabe Gackle to pitch in tonight's game?
I don't know.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, I don't know. I always love the people that'll be like, yeah, told you.
Told you Rocco Pepe wasn't going to get in.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Chris Moore, a.k.a. Birdseed. Interesting. He says, Zach Root said the reason Gage Wood was wearing his windbreaker tonight was because he forgot his jersey at the hotel. Oh, my goodness.
That is the man.
Wow. We might have to get him over here.
He probably
do we have a microphone for him?
Oh, we'll find a microphone. I'll give him my headset. I don't care.
Yeah, but he said it was because he forgot his jersey at the hotel. DVH said we teach our kids to be honest. Did y'all see this, that Gage Wood was wearing number 33 windbreaker?
I did see that.
Apparently, he left his jersey at the hotel.
Was he not wearing it when he walked out the... No, he was wearing the DP shirt. Never mind.
Come on, Mark
which
Taylor.
Apparently was Zach Roots.
What's Mark Taylor doing? Come on now.
Yeah, geez. I think that's on Gage. I think he was handed his jersey. It just did not wear it.
It'll happen.
Big KG says, going to Goon. Love y'all. Get some good rest. Tomorrow we go to war against the team who's underestimating us.
That's diabolical, man.
I mean, that's not terribly dissimilar from what I said to John and Forrest, our friend Forrest, here at DJ's Dugout.
It was pretty on brand and on par for that. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Sharkensaw, we appreciate the super chat, buddy. He says, Ianson gave up 6 hits to Hogs in Baton Rouge, but never felt pressure because it was a blowout. I like us in the rematch. I remember him working out of a couple bases loaded jam, or maybe one bases loaded jam. I believe he struck out Vahiva with like bases loaded, 1 out, and it was still kind of relatively close at this point. Also worth noting, not really a big deal, but Gage Wood got absolutely shelled in that game, which, I mean, Gage Wood has obviously come a long way since then. He's done some cool things since then. But that is something to keep in the back of your mind if we do see a situation where Gage Woods coming back on short rest to throw against LSU.
Yeah.
Hog fan 40 ounce, always appreciate him. He says, it's been a heck of a ride already. Anything is possible. This is a true statement, both of these.
Shout out Kevin Barnett.
Have we reached the point, because Arkansas is now 2-1 in Omaha. They are in the Final Four. They're in the semifinals, if you will. In basketball, we celebrate Final Fours and we put up banners for those. I don't know if we'll put up a banner. I guess we'll put the little College World Series logo. But have we reached? Has Arkansas advanced far enough to where it's like nobody can be like pissed at the team after this season?
Yeah, I think so, man. I saw, and it might have been the dude that got banned, so I don't even know if it's there at this point, but said something along the lines of Arkansas is going to choke. They always do. It's inevitable. There is no choking really at this point. I mean, you're one of the Final Four teams standing here. If you lose to LSU, it's not because you choked.
Yeah.
Right. I agree with that.
You could collapse. You could do something stupid or whatever to cost yourself a game, but it wouldn't be a choke.
Yeah. To me, I'm just going to be honest, guys. I'm still not there yet because I don't want to. I don't think you can have a losing record in the World Series. You can't have a losing record in the World Series. You got to have go at least at the worst 2-2. I mean, you were the favorite coming into this. You can't go 1-2.
Well, they
two,
already are
2-2. Yeah. So
they got to take it to Thursday.
Yes,
that's
what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
so you're saying if they lose tomorrow, like this still is like we can still be pissed.
I wouldn't. I'm maybe pissed isn't the right term.
I mean, I'm gonna be very pissed.
I'm gonna be like pretty disappointed. I'm gonna be like, okay, come on, man. You let LSU beat you twice. You can't even beat it once. You let them just cruise into another championship. You can't go like that. So I would be pretty bummed, but I say that in the moment. I'll probably if they lose then and then lose Thursday, I'll probably still be pissed. So it doesn't matter.
A few more chats. We'll get out of here in a little bit. Stripiest Wig, one of our residential ones, says, toss a coin to your Witcher. Thanks for the content, boys. Hog Sports takes years off my life. I swear to God. Well, I can relate to that. Although I feel like, dude, in terms of Hog games that have taken years off my life, tonight's game is like not even in the top 850. Dude, I don't even imagine.
This postseason is not even anywhere close to what Razorback baseball has been when it comes to taking years off of my life.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
Yeah,
it's been just getting started.
Like stress wise, this has been nothing compared to most postseasons. In fact, almost every other College World Series Arkansas has ever been in. Knock on wood, this has been nothing compared to any of those other years.
Yeah, absolutely. Another super chat from our guy Quinn. We are sad that Quinn is not here. He says, y'all getting out of that bases loaded jam in the first inning is what won y'all the game. I have a hard time disagreeing with that, man.
Did we really get out of it, or did UCLA try to go Jackie Robinson on us?
Well, I mean, that is their guy, They
exactly.
They tried to honor the legend.
They did make the tag, and Root made the throw. So
they did make the tag. Dude, that's also like, that's a tough everything. Because, I mean, in Root's situation, it's hard not to panic. Mm-hmm. And if you panic, it's obviously he was throwing from the windup, so it'd been kind of hard. He had to kind of speed up his windup. It's easy to panic and throw the ball awry there, and it's very easy to panic if you're a rider when you catch the ball to get that tag as a guy that's sliding in. You got it kind of right on the arm. So I've seen differing opinions on how close the play was. I was watching on the TV in the press box at this point. I thought it was like bang bang. I thought it would stand on the field just based on the fact that it's hard to overturn that. But I was stunned when it was confirmed.
Yeah, I want to see the angle that they confirmed it with for sure.
Yeah, very.
I'm with you. Yeah, I don't know that there was enough there to overturn it, but confirmed.
Whew. Yeah. Steven says Gage even said on Pat McAfee that he probably wouldn't throw unless we made the weekend. But yeah, 1 or 2 outs he didn't rule out. Which I did not watch Gage's performance on Pat McAfee. I saw it in the TV corner over there. Mm-hmm. He looked great, but I did not listen to it. But apparently, that's interesting. 1 or 2 outs he didn't rule out. I think that's kind of along the lines of where we're at.
Yeah, he can say that all day long, but I'm telling you right now, if Arkansas again has a 1-run lead, bases loaded, they need 1 out, and it's the bottom of the 9th. You think Gage is not going to go to Dave and Matt and be like, "Let me do this"?
Oh, he'll be badgering those boys.
He will.
He's probably already starting to think about it.
Yeah, he's probably he's probably like, "How can I start tomorrow?"
Yeah. Shout out to our guy Chef Boyarlee says halfway there, boys. Time to get our lick back. We ain't done yet. Who was the basketball? No, it was Marcus Peters, the defensive back. Y'all remember that guy?
Yeah.
When he hit the, I said, we not done yet.
Oh.
Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a throwback. I was thinking of what Bart Scott, I can't wait.
Can't wait. No, that's great.
Yeah, and then Jalen Williams. We ain't done about that neither. So don't be satisfied because we're not done.
We're not done. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't honestly, it's always tough in the chat because I'm trying to scroll in and find different things. I don't know if there was anything that led to this conversation, but I love this comment from James. He just says Justin Thomas.
Yeah,
true.
And I like this follow up here from John Anderson. JT coming.
Came.
JT is coming, man.
Yeah.
He is coming, and
he came and continues to come.
Regular comer, that JT. Zach Ward says thousands of comments and only 20 likes. Come on, Chad. Is that true? We only got 20 likes,
That's
bro.
wild
pretty
behavior.
disgusting,
What the
Chad.
hell's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, y'all ain't too drunk to hit that like button. I can tell you that.
Folks, we're just going to go as long as these super chats keep rolling in because we got one from Oppenheimer here.
Wow.
Who says, why have the College World Series umps been so bad this year? LSU fan here. I don't think any game has been called great behind the plate. What's funny is we had I believe it was an LSU fan that was commenting on one of our shows this week and was like, y'all talk about the umpires more than any show I've ever seen, which is funny because I feel like we have talked about the umpires less than literally anybody here in Omaha. You can't walk down the street in Omaha without someone being like, man, those umps suck, man. Them umps are horrible. There, you call it both ways, I think that the umpiring has been like, about as bad as it normally is. But I honestly, in my heart, do not feel like there has been a game here in Omaha where like I felt like it was heavily favored towards one team.
No, I haven't either.
No, I don't feel that way either. By the way, Oppenheimer's just a wild name to have right now.
Yeah, no, that's
crazy.
Yeah, I like that. Well, boys, we've approached close to the end here. I don't know. Are we gonna bully Jalen Battles into coming and joining us?
Yeah, he looks like he's having a good time by himself. Yeah. If this was after going to the finals or something like that, I would drag him over here. But
we'll have to see.
We'll have to do tomorrow. Yeah, we'll have him back on tomorrow.
Maybe so. Like the chat, y'all are just gonna have to y'all are gonna have to just know that we had an awesome time tearing down to town with Jalen Battles after this. But our post game show is coming to an end, and it is a Tuesday night at 10:48. Really appreciate everybody for kicking it with us, man. It's been a really fun game. It's been a really fun journey for as long as this lasted, and we live to fight another day. I really am. I'm okay with this performance. Like I'm not like over the moon thrilled about it, but it was what needed to happen. Arkansas gets through it. Don't use a ton of pitching. You live to fight another day. Beat LSU twice. How are you guys feeling as we move forward into what will be Wednesday tomorrow? Holy cow! I'm losing track of my days.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
That's all it's needed.
I mean, John, I think you're up, buddy.
Yeah, that's. I don't think anything needs to be said. No, I'm happy. Listen, live to fight another day. Go take care of business tomorrow, and make me believe because I feel good. Make me believe because if you beat LSU tomorrow, you're going to make me believe. You're going to make me believe you got it in you. You're going to make me believe that this is needed. That this is going to be something that is just going to be remembered, and that it's all set in stone and everything. So just make me believe tomorrow, boys. Make me believe.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I like that. I like that mentality. And I think there's a lot of fans who are excited. They're happy to be here, but they don't truly, like you say, in their hearts, believe Arkansas can beat LSU twice. And perhaps they can't, but you want to see them go down swinging. You want to see them go down with a fight. We get another super chat from our guy, Hayden Ulmer. No, yeah, I mean, don't apologize for bringing up.
I'm saying I was more apologizing because it's Hayden Ulmer. Don't tell him what it's going to be.
Well, he says, tomorrow I'm going to Harps and buying all the corn dogs, then throwing them in the garbage.
Me and Curtis witnessed an LSU fan in there in the stands eating a corn dog.
Straight facing it.
And if I was not a good human being, I would have taken a picture of it and posted it. But I ain't about that. But just know that he was very much LSU, very much eating a corn dog. And it was, I mean, it's kind of like, seeing one in its natural habitat,
Yeah.
like getting to see it. That, just a perfect time there for Hayden for us to bring that story up.
Between that and the weird Texas A&M fan in that Hawaiian shirt that wouldn't stop talking to us, we had to get out of that section pretty quick.
Yeah. As soon as you go to the bathroom, you're like, y'all leaving already?
We're here for Arkansas and UCLA, and we're just getting overrun by weird SEC folk that shouldn't
just
be there.
Leave us alone and let us watch the game, for crying out loud. That's all I ask.
I will say we did have a good vibe shift, which we've done this. We've perfected this a lot. I met y'all downstairs after the Aloy home run, and then we watched a few innings. Not much was going on. We moved to a different section. Arkansas scores 5 runs after that. I thought like that was pretty good work. It all worked out. All is good for those that love the Lord. And speaking of that, I'm going to pull up one last chat before we get out of here, boys. Where is it at? Oh, here we go. Shout out to I'm You on YouTube, who says, John 20:31, but these are written that ye might believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing ye might have life through his name. Shout out to you, I'm You. We appreciate that. And we appreciate everybody for tuning into our Baumbastic postgame. It's just now that moment where I'm like, really hit me that it's 11 p.m. on a Tuesday night. Like it's starting, you can kind of feel the vibe in here. It's a Tuesday night at 11 p.m. But seriously, we appreciate everybody tuning in. We're going to be back again, like we said, Inside Arkansas Live, noon from DJ's Dugout. We're going to be vibing here before the game. Arkansas, again, lives to fight another day. The run in Omaha continues. John Nabors, Curtis Wilkerson, Andrew Ellis, we're Inside Arkansas, and we appreciate you. We will see you tomorrow.